guys, Cavin is a wedding photographer and bridal boutique owner based in San Diego, and today's video is going to be all about the bride. It could also apply to the groom, but the bride's ultimate getting ready guide. Getting ready on the morning of your wedding is an event in and of itself. It's got all kinds of stuff going on, your hair and makeup, getting dressed, your photographer photographing your cute little details, and then you getting ready. And it's something that you should definitely put some effort into planning. So I have some tips for you guys that are hopefully going to help you make the most out of your morning and make sure that your photos of your morning of your wedding turn out the best that they can. First things first is you want to choose a space to get ready in that has natural light. That is so important in making sure that your photos are the best they can be. I have had some brides bring me to getting ready rooms that were super small and tight and had ugly art on the walls and had zero windows, and those are extremely challenging places to work in. And nowadays when that happens, I will just shoot as much as I can, and then I will have the bride go outside for the zip up of her dress so we can at least get beautiful photos outside, because it would be so much better to take them there than in the really dark, just not very attractive room. And I understand that everybody is on a budget, so if you can't get a good looking room, then let your photographer know, hey, I'm totally willing to go outside for the zipping up and like the putting on my earrings and putting on my shoes photos, because it would be best to do those in the place that has the better lighting and backgrounds. And if your room is not super pretty, usually outside is your better option. So to find the best, like the most ideal room, try to find a corner hotel room or a room somewhere that has at least 2 windows. The more windows and light you have, usually the better. And also a room that has really clean backdrops. So you don't want a whole lot of crazy stuff going on unless it matches the decor and colors of your wedding. Like if you had a funky hotel room in Palm Springs with like palm leaf backgrounds, like that could totally work for your wedding. But if you have a hotel with palm leaf backgrounds, but your wedding has a really traditional like ivory and French blue and very elegant and traditional vibe, you're probably not going to want your getting ready photos in front of a palm tree background, because that's not really going to go. So what I love in a final gallery of wedding photos is for them to look cohesive. I want everything to blend together beautifully and all look like it was intentionally put there or we intentionally shot there because it matched and it really complemented the wedding day vision. So that to me is extremely important. If you have a photographer who doesn't think like that, they might not think like that. And so it's kind of up to you sometimes, depending on the skill and experience of your photographer and how they think and how they see things, to make sure that the space you're getting ready in doesn't clash with your wedding day vision and your color palette and your style. Obviously, some people don't care at all about this. They don't care whatsoever. It's probably not you if you're watching this video. I would think that you would care if you are seeing this. So make sure that you're choosing clean backgrounds or backgrounds that are gonna match the aesthetic and the vibe of your wedding. And then if there are things on the walls or things in the background, have your bridal party move them out of the way. Ask your photographer, hey, where do you want to do the photos of me putting on my dress? If they say over here, say, okay, great, like my bridesmaids can help you move all the crap out of the way that we don't need, like telephones, alarm clocks, little hotel things. I always move anything that is not beautiful that can be moved out. If you have your bouquet and vases, move that in. Like I, as a photographer, I style my scenes as much as possible to make them look beautiful. If I have the time to do this, I will take the time to do this. When I first started out, I didn't think this detail oriented, and I can definitely tell a difference in my pictures now versus then. So moving on, my next tip is to have music to play with you. So I typically find that more calming music is fun, or just something that's exciting like Taylor Swift. Choose your vibe and the mood that you want. If you're feeling really anxious and nervous, play something like Enya. Play something really calming to make sure that you feel calm. If you've got like really upbeat music going on and you're already feeling anxious, you could start to feel overwhelmed by the pacing of the music. So choose your music wisely based on what you think you need to hear in the morning to make sure that things aren't too quiet, but also that you get in the mindset that you need to be in. The next tip is really important. Make sure that you bring food and beverages or order them if you're in a hotel. Get room service. Have food and drinks brought in for people to sip and snack on because the last thing you want is somebody passing out during the ceremony because they forgot to eat, they didn't have access to food. It's kind of hard to go get food when you're in the middle of having to get your hair and makeup done. So have food arranged to be in your room for the morning of your wedding day to make sure that you are hydrating and eating. Definitely please eat and drink a lot of water before your ceremony. Another thing you can have is champagne or mimosas, rosé. Have a little bit. Make sure if you have a super rowdy crowd and you don't want them getting too wild before the ceremony, that you don't have too much of that in there or that you have a conversation about it. But for most people, they should be able to handle themselves well, and it'll be just a fun little thing to have. You can pop champagne for your pictures. That's always really cute, but to just have something fun to sip on like that is also a really good idea. This next one is very important. Designate your most responsible person in the room to be your timeline keeper. I, as a photographer, try to be a timeline keeper, but if you have a bridesmaid, maid of honor, best man, groomsman, whatever their title is, who's really good at time stuff, send them a timeline a few days before their wedding and say, hey, can you kind of keep on top of this for me? Let me know when we're getting close to needing to leave. Like, just make sure that you are in charge of taking us where we need to be. Have a point person that's gonna be really helpful. If you have a wedding planner, they might have an assistant who can help do this for you. But if you don't have somebody who is like a vendor who can do this during that morning, make sure you have a responsible friend who can keep everybody on time, because the last thing you want is for things to go out of schedule and then you lose time from the valuable portraits that you care about, or you're late to your own ceremony. A lot of people are like, I don't want any pictures of me getting ready. Like, I don't need my photographer then. And to that I say, always trust your photographer's advice, okay? Even if you don't want pictures of your hair and makeup going on, your photographer probably still needs to be there to photograph certain things like your jewelry, your shoes, your invitations, unless you really don't want any of those photos. But then again, your photographer usually needs a little bit of warm-up time, not just for themselves, but to warm everybody up, including you, to them. So if you have your photographer just show up right at like family portraits or right at the ceremony, it's just a little off. They need that time to acclimate to the event, and your guests, your people need to acclimate to the photographer. Same thing with you. If you've got them there for a while, you get comfortable with them being there, taking pictures, you are gonna look and feel a lot more natural and comfortable on camera when it comes time to your portraits. The last thing for the wedding morning is to just simply in your timeline, make sure that you have a lot more time than you think you need for everything. If you are not working with an experienced, top-notch wedding team of vendors who are used to like getting things done on time, if they're maybe newer, more experienced, and they don't really have a good grasp of how much time they need, add more time. It's totally fine if you finish things early before your ceremony and you're just sitting around relaxing. That's actually a great thing. But I have been to so many weddings time and time again where my couples did not hire one of the hair and makeup people that I recommended. They hired some rando that had no experience, and that person made things so late that we have lost up to like an hour of portrait time before. I've had a wedding where we were late to this ceremony because the hair and makeup team was not very experienced and they did not know how to plan out the time wisely. So if you're working with somebody like that because of budget, or that's just who you picked, make sure that you add a little bit extra time. If you have to travel from your getting ready room to the ceremony, whether it be walking or driving, double the time you think it's going to take. That is extremely important. It is always better to have extra time than to not have enough time and run late. And a lot of times when we have put in extra time in my own wedding, we run a little bit late, but because we have the extra time, we're essentially on time. Had we not added extra time for traveling, hair and makeup, bride getting into the dress, because she's gonna have to go to the bathroom and she's gonna have to do all these things, I've learned at this point that having that time means that we will at least always be on time, if not a little early. So don't be afraid to pad your timeline as much as possible in order to ensure that you have all the time that you wanted for those important wedding day pictures. Have cute robes or pajamas for you and your group to wear. Have something that is gonna look really cute in your pictures. At my bridal boutique in San Diego, we sell beautiful silk robes that you can get in ivory for the bride, and then different colors for the bridesmaids, or you as the bride can choose a different color and they can be in whatever other colors. So have some sort of cute outfit for them to wear, or if you can't splurge that in your budget and they can't either, let them know, hey, everybody arrive in black leggings and a white shirt, something that looks more cohesive, or say wear pastels, wear a wedding color. So if you can't afford to get outfits for the wedding day morning, specify to everybody to wear a certain color palette, and then at least you'll look really cohesive in those wedding photos, because again, at least to me, having your gallery look cohesive, like it was very intentional and everything was purposefully selected, looks so beautiful than if you've got a like weird set of colors bouncing throughout the day. So that's just my super attention to detail. So pick a good space, have cute outfits, make sure you've got some good music on, have food and drink in your room, and pad your timeline as much as possible so that you will not run late for anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have future video ideas, leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye!